Once again, make sure that everybody knows, hi, my name is Dorian. For those of you that are brand new to class with me, thanks so much for showing up tonight. Once again, we will be using a block. If you are a person who usually uses blocks or other props in your yoga practice, I urge you to grab any household items around you that might help you so that our class can be fun and not a struggle. Cool? All right. We are going to get started. So everybody go ahead and find your way onto your mat and come into a comfortably seated position. And with your eyes closed, just close your eyes for a few breaths and let your palms rest face down on your thighs. And start to develop a deeper connection to your breathing. And ask yourself a question. That question is, why am I taking this yoga class today? Obviously, the answer is going to be different for every person. But part of what this excess of time has given us is an opportunity to ask ourselves questions, not shying away from answers. And so for today's practice, don't be afraid to ask yourselves why. Feel your shoulder blades dropping down away from your ears, and feel the conscious construction of your spine. Your sitting bones pressing down into the support of the earth underneath you, allowing the ribs to lift away from the waist, growing taller through the mid-back. Tucking your chin so that the back of the neck stays long, in the efforts of promoting a clear channel of breath from your nostrils, dropping all the way down into the base of your lungs. Feeling that steady breath passing in and out of your nostrils. Our connection to our commitment to our practice, to taking the time for yoga. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it out of your mouth. Deep inhales in. Exhale, sigh it out. One more time, full breathings in. Deep exhales out. Keep your awareness of your body very strong and deep. Go ahead and float your eyes open. All right. Palms come down to the ground in front of you, shifting forward into a hands and knees pose. So we're going to land our palms right underneath our shoulders. We're going to take our knees right underneath our hips. The tops of your feet are going to press down into the ground. On your inhale, drop your bellies down and lift your gaze up to the sky for a cow spine. On your exhale, reverse that breath, lifting your navel center in and up as your head drops down towards the earth, cat spine. Inhale, the belly drops, the gaze floats high to the sky, cow. Exhale to round and lift, finding your way into your cat. Start to breathe in and out of cat and cow, feeling the flow of your body, the rhythm that makes sense for you for today's practice. So it can be very slow and steady. It can be more fast and energetic. It's completely a reflection of how you are, how you feel today. You can feel free to stick with a standard cat-cow, but if there's other parts of your body that need to be invited along, then go ahead and add those pieces in. For me, I like to make circles with my neck and my hips, so that I can get some motion in my other joints, preparing the body for more advanced practice, for more advanced postures. Whatever motions it is that you are taking to the right side, make sure that you also take those motions to the left, so that you're not leaving anything out or leaving anything behind. Take a nice full breath in. On your exhale, go ahead and tuck your toes underneath. Lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Spread out your palms nice and wide. Press your hands down into the earth to feel the length of your arms and pedal out your dog, shifting your weight from side to side. Just allowing your head and neck to dangle off the end of your spine. Naturally, you can shake your heads no, nod your heads yes. Good. On your next inhale, come up high on your toes and begin to ripple your way forward, finding a plank pose. Stack your shoulders on top of your wrists and reach your heels towards the wall behind you. Engage your navel center, lifting the middle upper part of your back towards the sky. Feel the strength in your arms, deep breathings in, full exhales out. One more big breath in. On your exhale, go ahead and lower your knees down to the ground, coming into a wide-kneed child's pose. So the knees and thighs are parted, allowing space for the belly to drop down towards the earth. And just allow your palms, forearms, and elbows to rest down on the ground, or reminding your arms and hands that you are no longer weight bearing. Child's pose is always a place that we can come if we need a break or a timeout. We can always come back here. It's always an option. Go ahead, slide your forearms back so that your elbows are underneath your torso, with your wrists underneath your collarbone. So it's sort of like your little hunched over turtle shape. Engage your mula bandha, or lift your pelvic floor, squeezing in. Squeeze your inner legs into your outer arms, allowing the legs to press in towards your elbows. And then the last piece of this, press your forearms and hands down to the ground, round your upper back like in cat spine, doming your upper back forwards towards the front of your mat. Take a nice deep breath in and a full breath out. Release your squeezing, press your forearms and hands down into the ground to roll your torso upright. Hands are going to come right on top of your thighs, keeping your knees nice and wide. Tuck your toes underneath. Hips are sitting up on your heels. Lift your arms high to the sky. And then go ahead, find cactus arms, bending your elbows out to the sides with nice widespread palms. Sitting your hips on your heels, eagle wrap your right arm underneath your left. Lift your elbows to the heights of your shoulders, and then without finding a back bend, just hinge back at your hips, breathing length through the spine, reaching your heart towards the wall behind you. Deep breathings in, full exhales out. One more big breath in. On your exhale, float your palms down to the ground, find your way back into a hands and knees pose. Tuck your toes underneath, hips lift up and back for downward facing dog. Go ahead and step your right foot to the outside of your right hand, a low lunge, reaching your left heel towards the wall behind you. Draw your chest forward, breathe into the underside of your right thigh. Keep your left hand down on the ground, lift your right arm up to the sky for a low lunge twist, rolling your right shoulder away from the wall that you're facing. Deep breathings in, full exhales out. Take your right hand down to the ground, underneath your right shoulder, inside of your right foot, and then go ahead and lengthen both of your legs, drawing your hips back towards the wall behind you. Drop your head, breathe. Pick up your right toes, flexing your right ankle. Go ahead and turn parallel to face the side wall for a wide-legged standing forward fold. Drop your head towards the ground. Put a bend in your right knee. Take that bend over to your left knee. Go ahead, bend your right knee. Bend your left knee. One more time, bend your right knee. Turn your right toes forwards to face the front of the room, low lunge. Step your right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward, find plank pose. On your exhale, elbows bend straight back to lower down to the earth. Come over the tops of your feet, heart lifts, baby cobra, shoulders down away from your ears. Use your breath to find your way through bent knees, back into downward facing dog. Inhale, forward plank pose. Exhale, wide knee child's pose. Belly drops down towards the earth, fingers reach forwards towards the front of your mat. Slide your forearms back so that your elbows are underneath your torso, wrists underneath your collarbone. Engage Mula Bandha, squeezing the pelvic floor. Squeeze your legs into your arms, round your upper back, dome your back towards the sky. Full breathings in, deep exhales out. Release that pressure. Press your hands down into the ground to roll your bodies upright. Keep the knees wide, tuck your toes underneath. Hips to heels, lift your arms high to the sky. On your exhale, find cactus arms. Eagle wrap your left arm underneath your right. Hug the inner elbows in as you lift the elbows to the heights of the shoulders. Hinge your way backwards. Keep your knees connected down to the ground. Feel your hip flexors stretching the fronts of your thighs. Deep breathings in. Full exhales out. One more big breath in. Exhale, hands come down to the ground, hands and knees pose. Tuck the toes underneath, hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. Go ahead, step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Breathe the heart forward, right heel towards the wall behind you. Squeeze your left leg into your left arm, just feel that connection, and then take a breath, lift your left arm up to the sky. Breathing as you stretch the fingers towards the ceiling, full inhales in. Exhale, left hand comes back down to the ground inside of your left foot. Press that left foot down to the earth, lengthen out both of your legs, drop your heads towards the ground. Breathe. Go ahead, pick up your left toes, turn parallel to face the side wall. Drop your heads down towards the ground, bend your left knee. Bend your right knee. Bend your left knee. Bend your right knee. One more time, bend your left knee. Turn the left toes forwards to face the front of your mat. Low lunge, hands inside of your left foot. Step that left foot back downward facing dog. Inhale forward to find your plank pose. Exhale, elbows bend, lower all the way down to the earth. Come over the tops of your feet, heart lifts, baby cobra, shoulders back and down. Find your way through bent knees, toes tucked, hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. Start to walk your feet up to your hand to the top of the mat, footstep by footstep. Whenever you reach the top of your mat, separate your feet a little wider than hips width distance for today's practice. So you want to have space in between the feet, nice deep space. Hands come down to the ground inside of your feet. Engage your hamstrings, lowering your hips. We're coming into a shape I like to call a half squat. So the feet are wide but parallel. Hands are down on the ground inside of your legs. Squeeze your inner legs into your outer arms. Make a nice tight connection. And then send your chest forward. This is our half squat for today's practice. Keeping your hands down on the ground. Press your right toes into the earth. Lift your right heel up. So my right heel is lifted. Keep squeezing your right leg into your right upper arm. See if you can lift your right foot off the ground. Whoa. All right, right foot comes back down to the ground. Taking our attention over to the left side, press your left toes into the earth, lift your left heel up. Press both hands down into the ground, lift your left foot up off of the earth. Flex that left ankle, good. Left toes come back down to the earth, left foot to the earth. Lengthen both of your legs, drop your heads. Press into your feet, begin to roll your bodies all the way up to a stand. Keeping the feet wide, arms lift high to the sky, high prayer. On your exhale, go ahead, take that prayer to your heart center. Recommit yourself to the intention for today's practice, whatever it was that we are coming here for. Can we take our steps towards it? Standing at the top of your mat with feet wider than hips width distance, inhale the arms high to the sky. Exhale, forward fold down to the earth. Hands inside of your feet, step your right leg back, low lunge. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward, find plank pose. Exhale, lower down to the ground. Come over the tops of your feet, pressing to lift your heart, cobra pose. Hips up and back with your exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot outside of your right hand. Down dog. Step your left foot outside of your left hand. Down dog. Step your right foot outside of your right hand. Right arm lifts up to the sky, low lunge twist. Lift your gaze. Right hand comes back down to the ground, inside of your right foot. Step your left foot to your half squat. Knees bend, tailbone drops, heart forward. Lengthen your legs, drop your heads. Keep the feet parallel but wide. Inhale, stand all the way up, high prayer. Exhale, forward fold down to the ground. Hands inside of your feet. Left foot steps back, low lunge. Right leg meets down dog. Inhale, forward plank pose. Spread your palms. Exhale to lower to the earth. Pressing your hands in the tops of your feet. Heart lifts, cobra pose. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Step your left foot outside your left hand. Down dog. Step your right foot outside your right hand. Down dog. Step your left foot outside your left hand. Left arm lifts to the sky, low lunge twist. Left hand comes to the earth inside of your left foot. Step to your half squat. Drop your tailbone, reach your chest forward on your inhale. Exhale, lengthen your legs, drop your head. Inhale, stand all the way up, high prayer. Exhale, forward fold down to the ground. Right foot steps back, low lunge. Left foot meets down dog. Inhale, forward, find plank pose. Shift your head and shoulders forward as your elbows bend straight back, part way for Chaturanga Dandasana. Come over the tops of your feet, upward facing dog. Hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. Step your right foot outside your right hand. Down dog. Left foot outside the left hand. Down dog. Right foot outside your right hand. Right arm lifts high to the sky, low lunge twist. Right hand back to the earth. Step your left foot to your half squat. Big inhales. Exhale, lengthen your legs, drop your heads. Inhale, stand all the way up, high prayer. Exhale, forward fold down to the earth. Left foot steps back, low lunge. Right leg meets down dog. Inhale, forward plank pose. Keep your head and shoulders moving forward. Elbows bend, Chaturanga. Pressing to lift, upward facing dog. Thighs off the ground. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Step your left foot outside your left hand. Down dog. Right foot outside the right hand. Down dog. Left foot outside the left hand. Left arm lifts, low lunge twist, look up. Left hand to the earth inside of your left foot. Step to your half squat. Drop the tailbone with your inhale. Exhale, lengthen your legs, drop your heads. Inhale, stand all the way up, high prayer. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Right foot steps back, low lunge. Left foot meets plank pose. Elbows bend, Chaturanga. Pressing to lift, upward facing dog. Hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. Widen your feet about as wide as the mat. And then step your toes forward so that your shoulders are on top of your wrists. Look at the space in between your thumbs. Bend your knees, but keep your hips high. Give yourselves a few hops. See if you can get your hips over your shoulders for a mid-air squat. Hop, hop, hop. I'll meet everybody at the top of their mat in their half squat, palms down to the ground. Look forward. Exhale, lengthen your legs, drop your heads. Inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Left foot steps back, low lunge. Right leg meets plank to Chaturanga. Smooth your breath to lower, pressing to lift. Hips meet up and back with your exhale, down dog. Widen your feet. Step your toes in so that shoulders are on top of wrists. Look between your thumbs. Bend your knees, hips stay high. Give yourselves just a few hops, trying to get your hips over your shoulders. Make sure your fingers stay strong and spread. Hop, hop, hop. I'll meet everybody at the top, finding your way into your half squat. Woo. Give yourselves a moment to breathe. Press your feet down into the ground, lengthen your legs, drop your heads. Inhale, stand all the way up. High prayer, arms lift. On your exhale, bend your knees, find your way into a squat. The normal, regular squats. So the toes are turned out, knees are turned out. Press into your outer feet. Hands find a prayer in your heart center. Prioritize getting your heels down on the ground, even if that means that you have to be a little bit higher in your carriage. So the heels are down. Some of us are gonna stay right here. If that works for you, that's cool. If you'd like, hands come down to the ground in line with your shoulders. Coming into crow pose, knees comes onto the backs of the arms, shifting your head and shoulders like forward like in chaturanga, toes and heels climb up towards the seat. Keep looking forward, deep breathings in. Full exhales out. Whenever you are ready, squat or crow pose, hop, step, or jump your way back to chaturanga dandasana, landing with bent elbows. Finding your way through your flow. We're gonna meet ourselves up and downward facing dog. Really, really great so far, everybody. I can't see you, but I know you have great energy. On an inhale, take your right leg high to the sky. On your exhale, step your right foot between your palms. Back heel comes down to the ground. Warrior one starts off today's flow. Root the outer edge of that left foot down into the ground. Try and knit your front ribs in, stacking shoulders right on top of hips. Full breathings in, deep exhales out. Use your next inhale to lengthen your right leg. Flex your right ankle, pick up your right toes, just like when we were on our knees, hinge back, lifting the ribs away from the waist, getting longer and taller. Right toes come down to the ground, right knee bends, exhaling forward, devotional warrior. Lay your arms wing back by your sides as you drop your heads down towards the ground. Some of us are going to need to walk our right foot a little towards the upper right-hand corner of the mat so that we have space for our right shoulder to fall inside of our right leg. When we do that, drop your outer right hip down towards the ground. Let your head release. Breathe. Hands come down to the ground underneath your shoulders. Spin up your left heel. Find that low lunge that we've been working with. Step back down dog. Left foot steps to the outside of your left hand. Step back down dog. Right foot steps to the outside of your right hand. Right arm lifts high to the sky, low lunge twist. Roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. Step your right foot to meet your left, side plank. Keep the hips lifting up towards the sky. If you need more support in your side plank, you can always lower your left knee down to the ground. Everybody breathe. Right arm reaches over your right ear. Both hands down on the ground, plank pose to chaturanga, finding your way through your vinyasa. Gorgeous, everybody. Meeting up in downward facing dog, left leg reaches high to the sky. Step your left foot forward, back heel comes to the earth, arms lift, warrior one. Feeling that left knee moving forwards in space, outer right foot moving backwards as you guide your right hip softly forward. Full breathings in, deep exhales out. Go ahead, press down into the left foot to lengthen your left leg. Flex your left ankle, get tall, hinge back. Devotional warrior. Left toes down, left knee bends, heart travels forward, head drops. Make that space for your left shoulder to fall inside of your left thigh. Reach the fingers towards the wall behind you. Hands come down to the ground under the shoulders. Turn this into a low lunge with the left foot outside your left hand. Step back, down dog. Right foot outside the right hand. Step back, down dog. Left foot outside the left hand. Left arm lifts for your low lunge twist. Press into that right hand, roll onto the outer edge of your right foot, step back into your side plank. Keep lifting the hips up towards the sky, keep your chest open, breathe. Left arm reaches over your left ear. Left hand comes down to the ground, plank pose, chaturanga, finding your way through your vinyasa. All right, meeting up in down dog, here comes round two, right leg high to the sky. Step your right foot forward, back heel down, warrior one starts us off. Lengthen your right leg, flex your right ankle, lean back, hinge back. Exhale forward, devotional warrior. Use the strength of your legs to control the descent of your torso. Hands come down to the ground underneath the shoulders. It's a low lunge, look forward. Step back, down dog. Left foot steps outside the left hand. Step back down. Right foot steps outside the right hand. Right arm lifts up to the sky, low lunge twist. Press into that left hand, step your right foot back, side plank. This time, cactus your right arm. Go ahead and lift your right leg up off of your left. See if you can tap your right knee to your right elbow. Whoop. Step your right foot to the ground behind your back. Hips lift up to the sky for a rock star. Flipping your world inside out. Right hand comes down to the ground. Right leg lifts high to the sky, three-legged dog. Step your right foot outside your right hand. Lengthen out both of your legs, drawing your hips backwards in space. Pick up your right toes, turn parallel to face the side wall for a wide-legged standing forward fold. Hands come to your hips. Press your feet into the ground, roll all the way up. Arms lift high to the sky, taking a prayer above your head. We call this one flying warrior. So let your hearts fly. Deep breathings in, full exhales out. One more big breath in. On your exhale, left toes turn to the back of your mat, warrior two to the back of your mat. Lengthen your left leg, come back to the center, flying warrior, prayer above your head. Warrior two to the front of your mat. Turn your right toes forward, right knee bends, palms press the air down. Flip your front palm, tip your bodies up and back for peaceful warrior. Left hand traveling down the back of your left leg. Extended side angle. Right forearm to the right thigh, left arm reaches over your left ear. Use the point of contact between your right forearm and thigh to lift your rib cage and turn so that you're facing the sky. Roll your left shoulder back so that you're fighting a back bending aspect of extended side angle. Full breathings in, deep exhales out. One more ginormous breath in. Triangle pose. Press that right foot down into the earth to lengthen your right leg. Left arm floats up high to the sky. Keep leaning back away from the wall you're facing. Peaceful warrior. Right knee bends, right arm lifts. Exhale, your hands come down to the ground, stepping that right leg back to breathe through your vinyasa. Catching the weight of your body with the bending of your elbows, meeting up in down dog. Left leg lifts. Step that left foot forward, back heel down, warrior one. Lengthen your left leg, flex your left ankle, rear back. Devotional warrior carries you forward. Use the breath, take your time, your speed, your intensity. Hands down to the ground, underneath your shoulders, find your low lunge, heart forward, step back, down dog. Right foot steps outside the right hand. Step back, down dog. Left foot steps outside the left hand. Left arm lifts, low lunge twist. Open your hearts, wide open. Pressing to your right foot, step it back, side plank. Woof. Cactus your left arm, bend your left elbow. Pick up your left leg, tap your left knee to your left upper arm. High. Rock star, step your left foot to the ground behind your back, hips lift up to the sky, breathing. Left hand down to the ground, left leg high, three-legged dog. Step your left foot outside of your left hand. Lengthen your left leg, leaning your bodies backwards in space. Good. Pick up those left toes, turn parallel to face the side wall. Hands come onto your hips. Press into your feet, roll all the way up. Arms rise high to the sky, flying warrior. Big inhales in, deep exhales out. One more big breath in. Right toes turn to the back of your mat, warrior two. Lengthen your right leg, turn parallel to the side wall. Take it all the way back to the front of the mat, warrior two. Keep the bend in your left knee, tip your bodies up and back for peaceful warrior. Coming forward, extended side angle. Left forearm to left thigh, right arm over your right ear. Rear back, leaning back, open your chest. Keep the line of energy moving from your outer right foot to your right fingers. Triangle pose. Feel the length, the energy, squeezing your inner heels towards each other, opening your chest. Peaceful warrior tips you up and back. Exhale, hands down to the ground, stepping that left leg back to breathe through your vinyasa, pressing the earth away. All right, coming into our last round, right leg lifts. You know how it starts, stepping it forward, warrior one. Lengthen the lift, pick up your right toes, lean back. Exhale, forward, devotional warrior. Hands to the ground, inside of that right foot, find your low lunge, heart forward, step back down now. Left foot steps outside the left hand. Step back down now. Right foot steps outside the right hand, right arm lifts, high to the sky, low lunge, twist. Press into the outer left foot, step back, side plank. Oof. Cactus your right arm, pick up your right leg, tap your right knee to the back of your right arm. Rock star, step that right foot down to the ground, press your feet into the earth, lift your hips high to the sky. Flip your bodies back down to the ground, both hands down, right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Tap your right knee to the back of your right arm. Touch your right knee to your right elbow, or rather, yes, right knee to right elbow. Shift your head and shoulders forward like chaturanga. Press your hands. You might lift those left toes up off of the earth for kundanyasana. Left toes come back down to the ground. Step your right foot outside of your right hand. We're back in our lunge. Lengthen your right leg. Pick up the right toes. Turn parallel to face the side wall. Hands come to your hips. Press into your feet. Stand up. Arms lift high to the sky. Prayer above your head. Take warrior two to the back of your mat. Lengthen, lift through the center. Flying warrior. Warrior two to the front of your mat. Peaceful warrior tips you up and back. Extended side angle. For this extended side angle, you might float that right hand down to the ground inside of your right foot, or to your block, or to your roll of paper towel, if that's what you're using in lieu of a block. Everybody has the support they need. Go ahead and find a half bind, reaching your left arm behind your back for the inner thigh of your right leg. Keep rolling that left shoulder back, full breathings in. Exhale, triangle pose. Keep the half bind if you've got it. Keep your half bind, peaceful warrior. Right knee bends, right arm lifts. Float your right hand down to the ground or to your block, shifting forward onto your right leg, Ardha Chandrasana, standing on that right leg. The right hand is on the earth, right underneath your right shoulder. Just like in triangle pose, keep your hips open, hearts open. Deep breathings in, full exhales out. Take a look down at your right foot. However many steps it takes, step your left foot to meet your right at the top of the mat. Soften your knees as you land. Lift your torsos, chair pose. All right, here's where things get really wild. In your chair pose, widen your feet, a little wider than hips width distance. Engage your hamstrings, lower your seat, come on down. Hands come to the earth, find your way into your half squat. Amazing, all right? Cool. From your half squat, option A, you can stay right here. This is a great posture. If you would like to take things a little further, take the L shape of the thumb and forefinger on your right hand and slide it behind your right heel. Take the L shape of the thumb and forefinger on your left hand, slide them behind your left heel. Bend your elbows to make a shelf of your triceps for the backs of your thighs. Begin to sit your weight back so your tailbone drops. Slowly, 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 the feet might begin to float forward, drawing the inner legs into the outer arms. Lift, full breathings in, firefly. Go ahead, take your feet down to the ground. Shift your weight forward into a wide-legged forward fold. Left hand comes to the earth underneath your nose. Right arm lifts high to the sky. Right hand comes to the ground underneath your nose. Left arm lifts high to the sky. Take a half bind, reaching your left arm behind your back for the inner thigh of your right leg. If it's okay in your bodies, take your right arm underneath your inner right thigh, finding a full bind. Heel toe your feet together at the center of your mat. Shift your weight into your left foot. Begin to roll your body up to a stand. For some of us, we're losing the bind. That's okay. You can find your way into a tree pose. If you're keeping the bind, you might begin to extend your right foot towards the right side wall, finding a bird of paradise. Everybody breathe in. Everybody breathe out. One more big inhale. Whether you're in a tree pose or a bird of paradise, keep your right elbow connected to your right knee, cactus your arms. What? Everybody's got cactus arms, everybody's right knee is touching our right upper arm, full breathings in. On your exhale, take a curtsy, right foot steps behind your left. Knees are bent, arms winged, heads drop. It's a curtsy in the middle of your yoga class. Woo, surprise. Hands come down to the ground underneath your shoulders. Step your right leg back, low lunge. Hands down on the ground, once again underneath the shoulders. Left leg reaches high to the sky, three-legged dog. Walk your hands back. Once again, shoulders are right on top of those wrists. Look between your thumbs. Keep your left leg lifted. Bend your right knee. Give yourselves a few hops towards handstand. So we're just trying to lift our right foot up off of the ground. If it lifts in a millimeter, you're in a handstand. Amazing. I'll meet everybody up in downward facing dog. Rolling forward for plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Go ahead, send your left leg high. Step your left foot forward, warrior one. Lengthen, grow away from the earth. Pick up those left toes, hinge back. Exhale, forward, devotional warrior. Take your time. Hands to the ground underneath your shoulders. Find that low lunge. Step back, down dog. Right foot outside, right hand. Down dog. Left foot outside, left hand. Left arm lifts, low lunge twist. Press into the right hand, step back, side plank. Cactus your left arm. Lift up your left leg, tap your left knee to your left arm. Rock star, step that left foot down to the ground, hips rise to the sky, breathing. Left hand comes to the earth, left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Tap your left knee to your left elbow, shift your heart forward, float your right toes up off of the ground, Kundalini, breathe. Right toes come back down to the earth, step your left foot outside your left hand, you're back in your lunge. Lengthen out your left leg, pick up the left toes, turn parallel to face the side wall. Hands to hips, roll upright. Arms lift high, flying warrior, prayer above your head. Take a warrior two to the back of your mat. Rise through the center, flying warrior. Warrior two to the front of your mat. Peaceful warrior tips you up and back. Extended side angle, whichever variation worked for your body best, whether there was a hand on the ground or a hand on a block or forearm on left thigh. And then find your way into that half bind, reaching your right hand behind your back. Draw the right shoulder back, keeping the collarbones nice and broad. Full inhales in, deep exhales out. Keep your half bind, triangle pose. Keep your half bind, peaceful warrior. Here comes Ardha Chandrasana, shifting that left hand down onto the ground or your block or paper towel, whatever. Shifting forward, right leg lifts out towards the wall behind you. Roll the right shoulder back once again. Put strength into that standing leg, purpose into the standing leg. Breathe. Look down at your left foot. Go ahead, softly step your right foot to meet your left. Knees bend, chair pose. All right, here we go again. Widen your feet as wide as your mat. Bend your knees, engaging your hamstrings. Sit into your half squat, palms down on the ground. Squeeze your legs into your arms. Feel that hip adduction, squeezing in. And then go ahead, take your left thumb and forefinger, fit it behind your left heel. Take your right thumb and forefinger behind your right heel. Shifting your hips back in space. Dome your upper back. Feet lift up, firefly. Squeeze legs into arms. Breathe, Mula Bandha, coming back to Mula Bandha. Feet come down to the ground. Forward fold, wide-legged forward fold. Oof. Right hand to the earth underneath your nose, left arm lifts. Left hand down to the ground, right arm lifts. Half bind your right arm behind your back. Full bind your left arm underneath your inner left thigh. Once again, if that's not working for your shoulders, release the bind. Breathing is more important than binding. Heel toe your feet to the center of your mat. Shifting your weight into your right foot, begin to roll up to stand. Whether once again it's tree pose or whether it's your bird of paradise, breathe into your standing leg. Find that strength and stability. Full inhales in, deep exhales out. Whether you're in your chair or your bird of paradise, keep your left knee attached to your left elbow, cactus your arms. Full breathings in, deep exhales out. One more big breath in. OMG, or the yoga curtsy as I like to call it. Wings, arms, knees bend, heads dropped. Hands come down to the ground underneath your shoulders. Step your left foot back, low lunge. Right leg reaches high to the sky, three-legged dog. Go ahead and walk your hands to the center of your mat, wrists under shoulders. Put a soft bend in that left knee. Right leg stays elevated. See if you can hop your way into your handstand. And it's just a float. Doesn't require a lot of energy or force. Just trying to get your hips over your shoulders. Downward facing dog. I'll meet everybody up. Roll forward by your plank pose. Lower to chaturanga, upward facing dog. Hips lift up and back, down dog. Child's pose, knees come down to the ground. Stretch your arms forwards towards the front of your mat and then flip your palms up towards the sky, putting a gentle bend in your elbows. Let your forehead come down to the ground. Breathe. Amazing, everybody. I'm just feeling that return to our original intention for taking class, whatever it was that got us out of the rest of our day and brought us here. See if we can find a deeper connection to that and a gauge of ourselves, where we're at. Start to walk your palms back towards your knees. Press your hands down into the ground to roll your way upright. Shift your hips to one side, circling your feet forwards towards the front of your mat. Feet stay on the earth, knees stay bent. Roll back onto your backs. Step your feet back so you could brush your index finger and middle finger against your heels. And then with the feet planted on the ground, press the feet down, lift your hips up into the sky for bridge pose. You can go ahead and shimmy your shoulder blades together underneath you. And if it feels okay, interlace your fingers to make a nice strong double fist. Seal the heels of your hands together, press the backs of your arms and that double fist down into the earth to see if you can get a little bit more lift out of your pelvis. Feel the natural tucking of your chin. Breathe into your back body, breathe into your side waist. As you are ready, carefully tuck your chin, roll your spine down to the ground. Left hand comes to your heart, right hand comes to your belly, breathe into your hands. Feel the rhythm of your heartbeat, the rhythm of your breathing, and that connection to whatever it was that brought you to this class. We have a second back bend here. If you'd like, you can stick with bridge pose, the posture we just did. Some of us are gonna stay reclined just on the ground breathing. If you'd like to come into a wheel, hands come back by your ears, fingers pointed towards your feet, elbows lifted up towards the sky. Try and keep your elbows more narrow than drawn out. Press hands and feet down into the ground to lift onto the crown of your head. Reassess the situation. And then once you feel well placed hands and feet, lengthen arms and legs for a full wheel or upward facing bow pose. Try to avoid bending your elbows out to the sides. Draw your inner elbows towards each other. And let your big toes turn in slightly towards each other. So external rotation in your upper arm bones, internal rotation in your thigh bones, a slight internal rotation. Breathe. Whenever you're ready, carefully tuck your chin, roll your spine down to the earth. One hand comes to your belly, one hand comes to your heart. Breathe into your hands. Go ahead and widen your feet, a little wider than hips width distance. Let your knees knock in towards each other. Carefully windshield wiper the knees from side to side, letting them drop to the right and drop to the left for a gentle rotation of your spine and some ease in the outer hips. Go ahead and softly draw your knees into your chest. Keep the back of your head attached to the ground. Hold onto your shins with your hands. And make some circles on your lower back, circling your way around in one direction. And then take your circles in the opposite direction. Draw your chin into your knees into your chest. Everything gets small, tight, contained. Take a huge breath in and hold that breath. See if you can sip a little bit more air in right at the top. Whenever your body says it's time to let go, arms, legs float down to the ground for our final posture, Shavasana. Spread out on your mat, take up space, and then piece by piece let go of muscular tension so that all the effort we put into our exertion, you may find equal and oppositely in our rest. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. Start to find some motion, some small motions in your fingers and toes. Slide the soles of your feet down to the ground. And go ahead, take a rollover onto your right side. Taking your time, use your hands to help you find your way upright. And go ahead, find your way into a seat. Keeping your eyes closed, let your palms find a prayer at your heart center. Feel the warmth of your hands. Feel the warmth of your hearts. The clarity of your breath. And the strength of your heartbeats. Thanking yourselves for taking the time to commit to yourselves and for being a part of our community. Take a full breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. Thanks so much, everybody, for sharing your practice this evening. Here's Maverick, my cat. She came to visit at the tail end of class. If anyone has questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm gonna get closer so that I can see everybody. Thank you all so much. Thanks for all of your comments. My name is Dorian once again. You can ask me questions if you'd like on my through my email, dorianshorts@gmail.com. Thanks for being a part of the Chelsea Pier